Let's talk about how to tackle the IELTS speaking part 1. Hi there, I'm Ogogo Ovolen. I'm an IELTS coach and I have been coaching people for this exam for the last 5 years. For me, the IELTS speaking part 1 is one of the easiest part of the speaking exam, but some people still mess it up because of these common problems. Let's talk about them. One common mistake that people make in the IELTS speaking part 1 is that they give very short answers. Now, though the IELTS speaking part 1 does not require very long answers, you can't also give a one sentence answer. That will just not cut it. Okay, so what you want to remember is you want to give an answer that is somewhere between 2 to 4 sentences. If it's one sentence, it's too short. And if it's more than 4 sentences, it's too long. And what happens when you are speaking too long in the IELTS speaking part 1 is that the examiner will cut you short and go on to the next question. This does not mean that you will lose marks. However, it could throw you off balance and you could lose your train of thought, and that will destabilize you and make the rest of your exam go badly. So make sure you limit your answer in the speaking part 1 to 2 to 4 sentences. For example, let's say you get a question that says, what is your favorite subject in school? You can't just say biology. Biology is my favorite subject. That's too short. You should say something like this. I really enjoy learning biology because my teacher is the best. She explains concepts in the most simple way and everyone is able to understand them. Okay? So that answer is not too short. It's not a one sentence answer. And it's also not too long. It's able to provide the information that the examiner needs. Another problem that candidates run into when it comes to speaking part 1 is repeating words. And this happens very, very unconsciously. So again, back to the question I asked before. What is your favorite subject? And then the candidate replies, my favorite subject is, guess what you have done? You have repeated all the words that were used in the question. So instead of saying my favorite subject is, you could reply by saying, the subject I enjoy is, I really like learning when I'm at school, I'm interested in. Okay, so you can rephrase the question so that you are not repeating the exact same words that were used to ask you the question. This is a very common mistake that people make. Another big mistake is the use of wrong tenses. The use of wrong tenses. Now, in the IELTS speaking part 1, they have these type of questions I call tense testing questions. Okay, so they would ask you a question that is maybe referring to the past, and they'll ask you one about the present, and then one about the future. Sometimes they'll ask you one about the present perfect. Okay, so it would look something like this. Do you like music? What type of music did you like when you were a child? How has music changed since you were a child? What type of music do you think will be made in the future? So if you look at these questions, do you like music? This is present tense. What type of music did you like when you were a child? Past tense. How has music changed since you were a child? Present perfect tense. What type of music do you think they will make in the future? Future tense. But if you are not aware of all these dynamics, you may mess up your tenses when you are answering these questions. So you have to be aware of tense testing questions. Before you start speaking in your IELTS speaking part 1, make sure you ask yourself, what tense is this question in? Be very sure that you are answering in the correct tense, or else you will lose marks for speaking in the wrong tense. To learn more about mistakes that candidates make in the IELTS speaking exam, you should check out this video where I totally talk about the 5 major mistakes that candidates make them fail the exam. Now let's go on to how to tackle an IELTS speaking part 1 question. As I already said, no one sentence answers. A good rule of thumb is you want a 2 to 4 sentence answer. Now, what should be the content of your answer? Your answer should consist of an answer and a brief explanation. Okay? You give your answer, give a brief explanation. You give your answer, you give a little detail. You give your answer, you give a little reason why you have said this. And that is already enough. You don't need to say too much, but you need to say just what the examiner needs. Let's look at some examples. This question here says, do you enjoy watching movies? A good answer here would be, yes, I do. I especially enjoy watching thrillers because they keep me on the edge of my seat. Here's another one. What do you do in your free time? In my leisure time, I love to read books because It's a great way for me to relax and escape into another world. As you just saw, those examples, for each of them, there was an answer and a brief explanation, an answer and a brief explanation. So now let's try this speaking part one exercise and let's see how we do. I'm going to be answering the question, but you can also think of your own possible answer to the questions as they are flashed on the screen. I have a very busy life, so I only get to go to the cinema once a month when I visit my family back at home. I would rather watch a movie with my family right there in our sitting room because everyone gets to share their take on the movie. We can relax, we can eat whatever we want. It's just altogether a better experience. The movie I really enjoyed as a child was Home Alone because I really liked the way he tricked all the thieves and was able to stay safe even when he was the only one at home. It was really entertaining to watch. I think my best movie right now should be The Greatest Showman. That's because there's a lot of music and singing, and I love the storyline. And at the end of the day, good triumphs over evil. All right, so there you have it. That is a practical example of how you should answer your IELTS Speaking Part 1 questions. As I said at the beginning of this video, it is not difficult. It's very doable and you can do it. What you need to do right now is practice, practice, practice. Practice answering multiple questions. Practice using this structure of making sure that your answers are 2 to 4 sentences long and that you're able to give an answer and an explanation. This way, when you get to your exam, you'll be very confident and ready to answer whatever question you get. If you found this video helpful, make sure you like, you subscribe to this channel because there will be more videos like this, and please share this video with someone who is writing the IELTS exam. This may be the difference between them failing and passing the exam. Also, if you want to find out how to tackle the IELTS Speaking Part 2, make sure you watch this video right here.